What's up, Star Wars fans? Today I got some predictions for Episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. As always, I asked you, the community, what you thought was coming in this episode, and as you always do, you came up with some fantastic ideas. And our first little bit of speculation comes from Dad Narak. He says on the community tab, I think seeing Din Djarin is way too obvious. I think something else will happen, but I just can't put my fingers on it. And thanks for that, Dad Narak. I thought this was a particularly important prediction. The idea that Din Djarin may not actually be in this episode quite a bit. We may just see him in a hologram communicating with Fennec Shan and Boba Fett, and we might not actually get him until Episode 6 or even 7. And what would be absolutely amazing is if during this conversation with Din Djarin, we get some sort of hint as to what's happening in The Mandalorian Season 3. But hey, thanks for that speculation, Dagnarok. Let's get back to the community tab now, where Milo Corrigan also makes an important point. He says, I love the fact that we're going in blind with no trailer footage. It's so exciting. And thanks for that, Milo. I hadn't really thought of that until I read your comment. We are really in the dark when it comes to these last 3 episodes, and although things are set up well enough that we know which direction we're headed in, there's still lots of cameos that could happen that we're just not going to see coming. And actually, further down in Milo's comment, he does suggest that Cobb Vanth is going to be one of those cameos, and once Din Djarin makes it to Tatooine, one of his first moves will be going to recruit Cobb Vanth. And certainly that's another great prediction, Milo. What if Din Djarin and Boba Fett also recruit the Tusken Raiders that help Cobb Vanth and Din Djarin defeat the Krayt Dragon? That would certainly enable Boba Fett to defeat the Pike Syndicate. So thanks for those comments, Milo, but let's move on to another comment on the community tab from the Medieval Man 9. He states, we still have 3 more episodes left to go, which means that it's way too early for Din Djarin to arrive, and especially early for Fett to ride the Rancor. I think what we see is the Pikes striking first, hoping to take Boba Fett out before he's ready. They'll do some significant damage, but won't have knocked him out of the fight just yet. He'll send Fennec to get Din Djarin, but that won't happen until near the end of the episode. In fact, I suspect that most of the danger and action will revolve around trying to get her off-world safely so that the Pikes don't stop her before she can get help. I also suspect that we'll find one of the families, probably the Trandoshans, don't honor their agreement and throw in their lot with the Pikes to get rid of Fett. And great speculation as always, Medieval Man 9. I really like the idea that the center of this episode would be all about getting in touch with Din Djarin, and I also absolutely think that we need a episode with a lot of action. I mean, it certainly seems like Boba Fett is healed and the flashbacks are over, so getting at least one conflict with the Pikes during this episode is just something that makes a lot of sense. So thanks for those predictions, Medieval Man 9. Now let's move on to Darth Ryan. He states, in this episode it will be Boba and Fennec finding more people for their crew, one of which will most likely be Mando. I think Boss could also be a character that could be asked to join the crew, but maybe he's already joined with the Pikes, and we see him in Cad Bane versus Boba and Karstantin. And Darth Ryan finishes by saying, I've heard episodes 5, 6, and 7 are going to be pretty big. And thanks for that, Darth Ryan. Certainly episodes 5, 6, and 7 have to be big if this is going to be seen as a success. I mean, it's pretty generally accepted that the Book of Boba Fett is not living up to the hype that was The Mandalorian Season 1 or 2. But the great thing about that is that many other Star Wars television shows have gone through something similar. For example, the Clone Wars Season 7 was quite weak in the middle, but it had such a successful last 4 episodes that people completely forgot about that, or at least were able to look past the weaker parts of the series. And if what Darth Ryan has heard in these 3 episodes are amazing, I think the same thing will happen with the Book of Boba Fett. But hey, thanks for that, Darth Ryan. Let's move on to a comment by JetBlast190. He suggests on the community tab, well, it seems too early in the series for Din Djarin to make an appearance, and it seems more plausible that he will be the ace up the sleeve in the final episode. Otherwise, the potential problem I see with that is that he will completely overshadow Boba and take over the show. And JetBlast190, that is certainly a solid point. Din Djarin is a big star now, and it's kind of ironic to think him coming into Boba Fett's show and taking over. But also remember that this was touted as Mandalorian Season 2.5, so we might be getting a lot of The Mandalorian, and honestly, I'm just excited to see what Jon Favreau has written for us. I think these last 3 episodes are going to be amazing. But hey, let me know in the comments below what you think. Will we see a lot of Din Djarin in in Episode 5. And as always, I'm Mike. Thanks for watching and sharing your speculation, and may the Force be with you.